I've only been to Seattle twice. The first time was in 1992 when I was traveling city to city, club to club, checking out music scenes. The second time was in 2004 when I went there to do a string session with members of the Seattle Symphony. Well, the third time I'm going to be there is this coming Saturday on August 6th when I'll be performing at the Neptune Theater. Info for the show is in the description below. Thinking back on my times there made me realize that grunge changed my life. The creation of great music is a collective experience. It is most powerful when sharing a feeling about a specific cultural time. The grunge music of the 90s had a unique sound with a musical DNA that was at once stark, powerful, unsettling, and beautiful. Grunge is heavily influenced by punk rock and heavy metal, but also the blues-based rock of the 60s and 70s. Overdriven electric guitars, bass, and drums laid a foundation for intense and soaring vocals. Alternately tuned acoustic guitars were also used to invoke the melancholy drone of the open strings. The music's creators captured the sadness and brokenness of the world. They sang about alienation and existential angst, no doubt influenced by the dark, damp climate of Seattle. Even though Kurt Cobain was heavily influenced by the Beatles, compared to the late 60s All You Need Is Love era, the 90s was a time of lost innocence. Grunge came out of a difficult economic time, taking root in working-class lumber towns, and expressed a weariness with the world. Pearl Jam's Elderly Woman evokes a small-town mindset, resistant to change, even while the singer has returned home full of a feeling of worldliness, nostalgia, and pain. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana dug deep into the darkness of F minor, while the lyrics embraced a playful, metaphorical intelligence. In grunge, the flat 7 chord is common to almost all the music, regardless of being in a major or minor key. Strong rhythmic pulses and patterns repeat, and odd meters of 5 and 7 are often used to keep us off balance. Tunes like Them Bones by Alice in Chains or Pushing Forward Back by Temple of the Dog are perfect examples. Dramatic shifts in dynamics, gritty guitar timbres, as well as heavy bass and drums add to the overall vibe of grunge. The melodies have unexpected chromaticism and harmonic complexity. Like Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, they make fun of our expectations. Together, these elements create a sound that is overall melancholic and expresses longing, loss, beauty, and hope all at once. Over 30 years later, the Seattle sound continues its influence today. This is Third Secret, a new supergroup from Seattle featuring members of Nirvana, Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam. The bass player Chris Novoselic was the bassist of Nirvana. Then you have Kim Thale, who is Soundgarden's guitarist. And on drums is Matt Cameron, who is actually in Temple of the Dog and Soundgarden, and now Pearl Jam. The group is rounded out by singers Julian Ray and Jennifer Johnson and guitarist John Bubba Dupre. The song they're playing is called I Choose Me, and you'll notice that it really contains the same DNA of the Seattle sound. I got turned down to Third Secret because I follow all the members of these bands, and I'm always checking out what new projects they have. Let's check out a couple other songs. This one is called Winter Solstice. Put on your headphones for it. You notice the 1 2 3 points. Has a very medieval sound to it.
Seasons they change from the rain to the fire. Into the woods where I find my home. And I don't wanna know just where the wind blows. I don't wanna
love the combination of the indie rock vibe along with the darkness of that kind of guitar pattern. That it sounds so medieval, and that Aeolian melody, it's a natural minor melody, but it really milks those notes that give it a minor feel. The vocals have a psychedelic quality. So this is like the perfect storm of the things that I love about music. This next song is called Yellow Dress.
I've seen a lot of different people. These are faces that I know.
Beautiful.
And I wondered what's inside of the ones that you see grow. And it doesn't mean a thing. If it doesn't mean a thing, then why me? If it doesn't mean a thing,
I love how the drums
if
come
it
in and
doesn't
out.
mean a thing, if it doesn't mean a storm keeps me up all night, but I'm hanging on. Doesn't mean, doesn't mean, doesn't mean a thing. I know that we've been up all night, but I'm hanging on. Doesn't mean, doesn't mean, doesn't
See, there still is great music being made.
that I thought it was. I see it was the rhythm of my thoughts. When I open the door to the old me, and I see what
Love the
was hidden
drums.
was a falling soul.
It's beautiful.
But it's still my heart.
And for those of you that love the heavy riffs, this is called Lies Fade Away.
When everything seems to go right, there is no reason for a fight. I'm laying in the green grass, waiting for fate to take
Killer
a
sounding record.
ride. When everything else falls apart, when everything goes so wrong, the hours
Great
they are
bass line.
moving on, destroying everything you got. Time moves on and the decades, seasons change.
Awesome.
When it all feels the same, let the lights fade away. Design in disarray.
The thing that's incredible about this that made me think about making this video is how the taste, the aesthetic of these musicians remains constant. They just have the sense of that melancholy feel that comes from the Northwest. And it's not like they're writing songs like they were back 30 years ago. It's that they inherently feel this darkness of Seattle, of being in the Northwest. And there's just something about it that is just part of them. It's just part of their taste. It's part of all those different bands. Even though the music was vastly different. Nirvana was vastly different than Alice in Chains. Soundgarden was vastly different than Pearl Jam. When you put Temple of the Dog together, some of the songs sounded like Pearl Jam, parts of the songs, and then you'd have the heavy sections which sounded like Soundgarden. The bands, though, all had the same vibe that they drew from. And it probably came from the fact that all these guys knew each other back then, and they all played in bands with each other. So their tastes kept mingling and mingling, and they really share a similar aesthetic. There's nothing more that I can explain than that. These are the things that I love to think about. These are my thought experiments. It's like, why do these people from Seattle write such beautiful, dark music. I've always thought that where you live, the climate you live in, if it's dark all the time, if it rains all the time, you like a certain kind of music. I'm from Rochester, New York. It's one of the darkest, cloudiest places. Snows in the winter, and you want to stay home and you want to listen to music and you want to play music. Seattle is a dark, rainy place. Beautiful city. London. Think about all these places. Liverpool. Where did all this great music come from? It came from these places many times that had these really dark, rainy environments. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. If you're around this coming Saturday, I'd love to meet you at the show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.